Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to ISU News. I'm Levi Grebus.
I'm Tyson Chavis.
And I'm Nick Tarbett. Tragic news out of Twin Falls. State police say a boy was killed on a hiking trail near Roaring Brook Falls. Police say Mark Anderson was killed by a boulder that came loose while he was out on a hiking trail. He was hiking alone, so no witness saw the accident. The body was later found by a hiking party unrelated to the boy. His death is under investigation. A Pocatello shooting suspect says he didn't do it. 29-year-old Patrick Jones turned himself into police last night. He was wanted for the shooting of 36-year-old man on Monday. Jones was arraigned by video this morning in Pocatello Superior Court and held without bail. He pleaded not guilty to the attempted murder. The police affidavit indicates Jones and the shooting victim, 36-year-old Travis Roberts, knew each other and had a dispute over money and drugs. Roberts was shot in the shoulder and leg. He's expected to recover.
A traffic stop in Blackfoot leads to 3 drug arrests. Idaho state policy say 38-year-old Eugene Simpson of Blackfoot was pulled over this afternoon for failing to signal. When investigators searched the car, they found heroin, crack, and marijuana. Simpson and his 2 passengers, 39-year-old Kayla Austin of American Falls and 25-year-old Scotty Stewart of Income, all face drug charges. They're being held on bail. For the first time in nearly 20 years, Canada's Prime Minister made an official visit to the U.S. At the White House today, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, said his new Liberal government is promoting economic policies that resemble the Obama administration's proposals. He says the 2 governments share and are working on the exact same objectives. President Obama praised border states like Idaho while discussing the good relationships between the 2 countries.
Scary moments for some kids in Pocatello. A registered daycare caught fire this morning. Fire official credited the daycare owner and regular fire drills for getting everyone out safely. A quick response from the firefighters contained the damage mainly to the attic area. Investigators say that the fire was sparked by a bathroom fan. Another big primary today in the pursuit of the presidency, and Bernie Sanders is hoping to pull another upset like he did in Michigan last week. The latest polls show that Bernie is behind in Florida, but he is within 5 points of Hillary Clinton in Ohio, Illinois, and Missouri, and still aims to win North Carolina. Sanders is pushing his anti-trade, pro-union message that connects well with voters in Michigan. Clinton also talks about jobs and the economy. In the Republican race, Donald Trump is facing a slew of criticism that he is inciting violence at his rallies. He calls the incidents disruptions and blamed them on Bernie Sanders supporters.
Coming up later, glass found in frozen food. We have all the details on the food recall. Plus, just how much does Idaho really rely on the maple syrup industry? Also, 2 local hikers face some unexpected weather in Grand Teton. Stay with us.
Let's send it over to News Talk to hear what it's like to be an athlete while attending school full-time. Nico Taylor, over to you.
Thank you, Tyson. My name is Nico Taylor, a junior on the football team, and here I have with me Kyle LeBlanc and Molly Nutt from the softball team. And today we will be talking about the controversies of which sport is harder being a full-time student. I personally believe that football is much harder due to the fact that we only have 1 game a week and softball has several a week. How do you feel about that, Kyle LeBlanc?
I agree with you. We have to put in a lot of extra work throughout the year, and it's not only being in the weight room. We also have to condition and watch film and study our opponents. What do you have to say?
Well, Nico's main argument was football was harder because they had 1 game a week, while softball, like this weekend, we have 5 games. So wouldn't that make softball more difficult if you have 5 games in 3 days rather than 1 in 7?
Well, actually it wouldn't, because if we could only have 1 game, that's because that is a very strenuous game, and we're very tired and had a lot of preparation during the week. You guys can have 5 to 7 games or however many games you said you guys have because you guys are not putting out that much energy throughout your games, honestly.
So would you say softball is an easy sport? Is that your argument here?
Well, I don't know if I can say easy, but a lot easier than football, yes.
I would agree that probably football is more strenuous of a sport. There's more
Correct.
energy and contact.
Yes.
However, the preparation that we have is just as brutal or more brutal than football.
I can't see it. Do you see it, Kyle?
No, I strongly disagree with that. We have to put our body through hell to prepare for our games, and not only physically, we also mentally have to prepare for our games as well.
I know a lot of athletes complain, softball team included, that football doesn't have to be in the weight room so early. Softball's there. I wake up 5 a.m. every morning to go lift. We have weights from 6 to 8. We have conditioning in the morning at 6 a.m. And football, how does that work? What is your time commitment for weightlifting?
Well, you guys have to get in there early because the big dogs have to, get in there a little
put our
later
work
after
in.
our classes. There's much more of us, so we have a schedule, so all of us has to go to class. So after class, we all have to get in there together. There's about 95 of us. I think there's about anywhere from 15 to 20 of you guys. So, you guys can get in there a little earlier, and we have much more time.
And to add on that, last spring we did lift at 7 a.m. We just had to change our
Correct.
times because we all couldn't fit in the weight room at the same time.
And you guys, for some reason, always you guys get backpacks and things like that, and we don't have backpacks. There's a lot more of us, so I think you guys kind of get more benefits for no apparent reason.
So you say softball has benefits.
Yes.
I'm going to use an example and disagree with that, saying that football gets to fly to all of their games in a
Well,
plane, their own plane, when softball drives 15 hours on a bus to go to California.
Well, I'm
And
glad
this will be
you-
the third time we've driven 15-hour bus rides on the bus.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Well, there's 95 of us, so would you like us to take 3 to 4 buses there?
I think you guys have the money for that.
I don't think we do. But Kyle, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, to put us all on one bus or one plane, we can all bond as a unit together. Putting us in 3 different buses, that's breaking us apart, and that's not right.
You guys lift separately, you practice separately, split apart. What would being on a bus differently?
Well, actually, we don't practice separately. We all practice in our little
do you not split into
sections.
groups?
Yeah, we split into groups for little periods to touch on our position, but then in between time, we have it's called a team period. Since we are a team, this is a team sport, and we come together and we practice with each other. We have about 5 to 10 minutes to, we do have to learn our own position, and there's different things we have to do from each other, but we're always on the same field, and shortly after we will all be together.
And those plane rides make up for that time that we don't get to spend together.
Yes.
So can you sincerely say that you think that football doesn't have a few more privileges than other sports?
Well, no, I couldn't say privileges. Well, football brings more money, so we have more money. We have more money into the program, so that's kind of how that goes. So, do you have any last thing to say, Kyle or Molly?
I think we tied it up pretty well here.
I definitely respect that football does bring in more money for the school. It's a great athletic program, bring in a lot of revenue. However, I think we can all agree that any athlete at a university has to put in a lot of work. So I think we can agree on that.
And I can agree to that as well. Thank you for joining us.